MMORPGs, games you either play for 2 months without sleep or something you never touch with a 10-foot poo-poo stick. I remember being like 10 and going into stores and seeing the box for Burning Crusade on the shelf and thinking, oh my god, there's that crack game.
Dad, look, it's the good Kush.
This is the dollar store, how good can it be?
MMOs have some of the biggest gaming communities in the world with a very constructive and dedicated fan base. Even if you don't play the game yourself, you probably know someone who has at some point been addicted to them, and maybe it's even yourself. No, I'm not addicted, I can quit anytime I want. What's better, this or this? That's right, they're all trash! Back in the day when I heard about WoW's game time subscription, I was like, you really paid money to get harassed by people online? So one way of generating money for a company is through paid monthly subscription for in-game time. Could you imagine buying a full game and on top pay monthly fee just to play it? Damn, being an Xbox fan in 2000 must have fucking sucked. You can really tell an MMO player by the signature features too. I think what people generally associate the old school MMORPG players with is the image you get from the South Park episode Make Love Not Warcraft. But now they're just called your friends. In the beginning, MMOs were all about going on an adventure, exploring every nook and cranny of a well-crafted map, entering dungeons with enemies ranging from silly pirates to satanic demons. And most importantly, getting those sweet, sweet mint condition trousers. This must have been back in 2015. I was returning from university and my mom had the shittiest internet. It must have been like 9 megabit down and just enough upload for me to send a JPEG of the shittiest meme to my friends every week. The connection wasn't ideal, but then it just struck me. Let me just fucking play WoW and see what it's all about. Still feeling hyped of the VOD trailer, I gave my big boy allowance to Blizzard to play their flagship title, and I gotta say, the world felt endless. I must have gotten to around level 50 and quit. My best MMO memory has to be the launch of Classic. Discord was packed, everyone was running around and nobody could complete any quest because the server was so overloaded you couldn't even click the quest giver. I sat in a queue for 30 minutes and one of my friends was ahead of this massive group of people, but what they didn't know is that Stormwind was a death trap. You'd go in and the game would just log you out like, nah, Stormwind's closed. I'm getting constantly told by the people I play MMOs with that the games are really bad. They'll scream that they hate the game to the dying breath, but when some purple drops, oh boy, it's suddenly their way of life.
I farmed this in vanilla WoW. Did you farm this in vanilla WoW? No, I
Fuck
need,
you,
please,
I'm gonna need on it,
I'm
you need
putting
to
it
give
on Master
me...
Looter.
I really think the philosophy of the more you play the game, the more the crack shows. Role-playing aspect of the game has also really dropped off. Don't get me wrong, you can play the game in that way, but you're not really conforming to the standards set by the community as a whole. Before, I had no doubt that these games were like an online second life sim. You probably still have some of those friends you met in the games. But it feels like now you're not playing World of Warcraft, the online role-playing game. You're here playing gear score, specs and purples. Fear of missing out is also getting rampant in these games. Login rewards, seasonal events, limited store offers, everything is just designed to make you keep coming back. Leveling in these games can be a fucking nightmare. Still sitting awake until the early hours of the day just to hand in a quest to get some minimal reward. I think the hardest part of logging into an MMO is just seeing all your friends. This wasteland of a friends list. People being logged in like half a year ago. I think it's objectively true that MMOs over the years have become single player experiences, sprinkled in with some couple people you meet here and there. You just play the game by yourself with tab targeting and their patented stand and hit technology. The game really just plays itself. And when you need someone to complete group content, God forbid you have to get other players to join your party, this can go two ways. You either clear content at neck break speed or you wipe to the same trash over and over. How often have you said the following phrases? Oh my god, this healer is trash. This tank is clueless, he doesn't even hold aggro. How is he already dead? My mom hates me. Yeah, I see you, sitting there playing DPS thinking you're the next person getting invited to Blizzard's MDI. When I think about it, there's so many more new MMOs getting released, or is in the making. There's Ashes of Creation with a very interesting character creation tool. Riot Games is starting making an MMO. And from what I see on Twitter, it's shaping up to be something that might be interesting. Shroud has already tweeted a base take on MMOs. I'm currently into some ESO after my girlfriend convinced me, and I gotta say, leveling with a small group was actually fun. Especially after I gave up on WoW whenever I felt it become too seasonal. I would play the expansion at launch, then stop for some months, come back and see my gap in progression was just diminishing. The gear I spent farming was nullified after getting a couple of Viz pieces. The fucking maniacs as Blizzard did it again. They introduced a new top gear score. ASO has the exact opposite problem. Everything is so homogenized, it doesn't really matter what gear you get. Everything is scaled between all levels after the one Tamariel update. Would I recommend playing ESO just as a casual experience? Absolutely. But fuck trying to get into all these tryhard guilds. Unlike ESO, Final Fantasy doesn't have the luxury of having voiced quests, which is a real shame. So much of that story gets explained to you by several walls of texts. But you can gamble your money away, which is always a most welcome addition. ESO and Final Fantasy both had the benefit of attacks being very well telegraphed, so anyone with a lukewarm IQ can easily dodge if they just open their eyes to play. I really wanted to get into Classic WoW, but whenever I start, I find it to be a very lonely affair. I often find myself just logging in and maybe doing a quest or two. And none of my friends is showing any interest in starting up Wrath, saying it's just not their thing. I might as well just unsubscribe from WoW. Talking about subscribing. It's just a hint, come on, I'm trying to make some content here. Going forward, I might look for other experiences if something comes around and grabs my interest. Or maybe I find some new friends who really dig Classic. I mean, I wanna play it, it's just not something you can do alone. So in conclusion, what I'm trying to say here is, I wouldn't really recommend this one.